an overnight road trip that took place during the day. Oh my goodness, the big bad wolf. Not just me personally, but humans in general. Hi, I'm Sock Marionette, doing business as Bargain Counter Argument. I'm a middle-aged lady in a tiara, celebrating Vlogmas. Not just Vlogmas, but Christmas Eve Vlogmas. For me, the last day of Vlogmas, because tomorrow I'm pivoting to the 12 days of Christmas. Although I am going to do another video much later today, and that will be a Vlogmas bonus, Vlogmas After Hours, because I read the Megan Quinn duology, How My Neighbor Stole Christmas and Merry Christmas, You Filthy Animal. And those are a bit on the spicy side, so I thought I'd do it as After Hours rather than as part of Vlogmas proper. It is, let's see, the earworm of the day is Sleigh Ride, specifically the version recorded by the Carpenters. And in central Connecticut, it's a bit blustery. It's kind of overcast and windy. Is it cold? I don't know. Am I going to find out? No, I'm staying inside. So I was thinking it would be a good day to share some memories, because I've been thinking a lot about Christmases past, because it is that season. Specifically, I was thinking of the Christmas of 1976, or maybe it was the Christmas of 1975. It might have even been the Christmas of 1974. It was definitely not the Christmas of 1977. At the time, we were living in California on the Central Coast in Santa Barbara, and my mom's family mostly lived in Sacramento. So that's about a 400-mile drive. And I remember this Christmas of 1976, 75, 74 as an overnight road trip that took place during the day. I think I've got several memories bunched together. I decided not to ask Mom Marionette for clarification on this issue. I wanted to just record my own memories, and then I thought maybe she and I could talk about that amongst ourselves during our lunchtime lasagna extravaganza. I remember, because we used to go up to Sacramento maybe a couple of times a year. I don't remember. Or I do. I'm not sure. Memory is funny that way. Because 1976, Christmas 1976, I would have barely have turned 6. I would have turned 6 just a few weeks earlier. My sister would have been 13, and my parents were, you know, the age of parents. When you're that age, they're just adults. And so this is what we used to do for these trips. We had this car. It was like a total boat of a car. It was, because it was the 70s. It was a Ford LTD, and I remember it being giant because I was a small child, and my dad had this board that he had cut out to fit across the back seat. So he would put down the board and put down some padding, I think, of some kind, and we'd have a bunch of pillows and sleeping bags and stuff, and the idea was that overnight my sister and I could sleep. I think it was really more like I could sleep, because my sister probably couldn't get all that comfortable because she wasn't particularly tall. 13-year-old, but you know, she was still 13 to my 6. So the idea was that we'd sleep on the way up there and get there early in the morning. However, I also have memories of making this trip during the day. And I don't know, because I remember we used to have this milestone, is we drive from Santa Barbara, and when we get to Santa Maria, California, so about an hour after we left Santa Barbara, that would be when we could break out the Fig Newtons. That was our road trip cookie. I think we also sometimes had Oreos, but it always made a big deal out of the Fig Newtons. Like, when you get to Santa Maria, you can have Fig Newtons. And that has remained family shorthand and lore ever since. So I remember that happening during the day. Like I said, it's all just sort of this mashup of memories. Now, in 1976, I'm thinking we got there early in the morning. Maybe we didn't. Maybe we got there midday. Maybe we got there in the middle of the night. I don't know. And we showed up at my grandma's house. This is my mom's mom. And she greeted us and everything. And I think it was a day before Christmas, 2 days before Christmas, a week before Christmas, 2 weeks before Christmas. It wouldn't have been 2 weeks. It probably wouldn't have even been a week. I just remember that time between when we arrived and when we actually celebrated Christmas as being many, many days long. And it probably was not. It's probably just like the excitement and the anticipation that make me remember that as being longer than it was. But I remember having a good time during those days. Anyway, she greeted us and she immediately handed me a doll she had made. She was a very gifted seamstress and tailor. In fact, that was her profession. She was an alterations tailor at a department store back when department stores still did that sort of thing for many, many years. And she made most of my mom's clothes, including my mom's wedding dress, which was lovely and well constructed. And she handed me this doll that she had made. And of course, I still have her. And she said, this doll's stuffing, she said, is a bit lumpy. So she said, you'll have to call her Betty Bumps. So Betty Bumps she is. Now, she had little outfits for Betty Bumps, which were kind of very sort of prairie, frontier style, not frontier, more country, like bright colors, patchwork kind of a thing. I don't know where those outfits are anymore. And Betty Bumps wore them for many years. And then probably in the early 90s, so 15, 18 years later, she was starting to lose her blonde hair. It was coming out. And my sister fixed that for Betty Bumps and gave her just like really extreme hair, just beautiful, luxuriant tresses of yellow. So, I mean, her hair was yellow before too. Same shade, just more of it. And then she started getting really glamorous, Betty Bumps did. And now as you can see, she has this lovely flowery dress, but because it's winter, she has a little cardigan and she has her necklace. Her face could probably use a little wash, but I'm afraid to try to scrub her too hard because she might fall apart. And she's almost 50 years old and she was made by my grandmother. So I don't want to risk it. I found the dress for her a few years ago. And and last year I found this other dress for her, this party dress. Which is, on my monitor, its reading is very bright pink. It's actually, in person, it's a very bright coral, like less blue and more orange. But it's very pretty and it has these little fun discs, very, very 60s. She'll probably put that on for New Year's. And those cookies I made yesterday, the yellow and pink ones, I kind of think of them as Betty Bumps cookies. Because, let's see if I can find one that you can really see. Like, has the colors, the pink and the yellow, just like Betty Bumps. And over the years, she's accumulated some stuff. She has a handbag. And one day I should do, like, what's in Betty Bumps's handbag? Or what's in Betty Bumps's purse? This is her purse, and she does have a little purseling, a little pet for her purse, a little fox. I keep knocking this tree. I found this fox in a, I don't remember what store it was. I think it was Dollar General. It's a little Christmas ornament fox, and now he hangs out in her purse, and she's got some other stuff in there. She also, I bought this. I've shown this before, and I'm not sure that it really reads well on camera. It is pink and white ceramic tree. And I found this, I think it was last year or the year before. Anyway, these little bulbs are glued in place, so I can't show them in too much detail, but they are acorns and there's a little bird. It's really a nice piece. So that's Betty Bumps. So that was a few days before Christmas, 3 weeks before Christmas, I don't know. Anyway, my grandmother just gave her to me right away, basically. I think so that I would be amused and occupied and have something to play with while the grown-ups visited. Then, that Christmas day, we found our stockings. Now, we were staying with my grandmother. Her other children and their families lived in the Sacramento area, so they weren't staying with her. And we came out Christmas morning, and the stockings for me, my sister, my dad, and my mom, 4 of us, my dad, and then 3 ladies. And she had put the big bad wolf and the 3 little pigs in those stockings. And she had crocheted them herself, and they're just so cute. So I'm going to start with the pig that was in my stocking, because I was the youngest. Go from youngest to oldest. This is Miss Piggy. I named her that because I was very big into the Muppet Show. I still am. And I didn't have a whole lot of imagination. But anyway, here she is, Miss Piggy. This cardigan she's wearing was mine when I was a baby. It might have even been my sister's when she was a baby. So anyway, Miss Piggy. And then my sister's, she decided that this pig is Sam the Ham. He's missing an eye. That happened relatively recently. I don't know what it was. I think he spent the weekend in Glasgow and it didn't go well. Anyway, so, oh, and Miss Piggy also has a little curly tail, but her cardigan's covering it up. This sweater was original. He came with that sweater. Miss Piggy had her own sweater. All of them have little sweaters. His is the only one that I still know where it is, and that's because he's never taken it off. And then there was my mother's pig, whom she named Piggy Wiggy. And she's wearing this drink cozy for the WNBA. She's treating it like a sporty little dress. She's got like a little neck decoration, and she has the curly tail and the little hooves and stuff. And then my dad got the big bad wolf. Oh my goodness, the big bad wolf. He is really amazing. My dad named him Seymour. And he's a lanky dude. These little things, these are new. His ankles are starting to wear out a little bit. So I think it was just like within the last couple of years that I put these ribbons on there just to help shore them up. And he's got manly chest hair. He's got a luxuriant tail. He's got a bit of a gleam in the eye. Curly hair up top and some his little curly ears. I mean, I love all of them, but I really love Seymour. And every time I hang out with him, I think of my dad. So that's Seymour. And yeah, that's Seymour. And he went with us all over the world. Well, all of them went with us, like not too long, a few months after that, like in, I think it was April of 1977, we moved overseas. My dad was looking for a job overseas because my parents wanted to travel, and they figured the easiest way to do that would be to already be living overseas. And so my dad got a job working for an American company that was kind of facilitated by the US government, but also working for the Iranian government. This was in 1977 that he started working there, when they were still our allies before the revolution. And we were going to live there for several years, and it was great. I loved it there. But then political events overtook us and we had to come home. That's how I know, though, that Christmas that I got Betty Bumps and Seymour and the Three Little Pigs, I know that wasn't 1977, because 1977 and 1977, we spent Christmas in Iran. And that's a different story for a different time. But yeah, I just remember that time and my grandmother's gift with sewing and crochet and knitting. My mom has a sweater that my grandmother made for her when my mom was in high school. So it was a while ago, and my mom still has it. It's starting to get a little bit worn at the elbows, but that's another sweater that's been all over the world. And I have the memories, and they're as clear as memories from that age can be, given the confusion about how many days it was it daytime or nighttime when we made the road trip and that kind of thing. But there's something about having the physical objects around me and being able to hold Seymour and think about my grandmother knitting him, crocheting him, and my dad and my sister and my mom and I, like, posing him for pictures and manipulating him and making up stories about him. It's this connection to the past through material objects, and I don't know about how these kinds of objects reinforce memories. We have, souvenirs and things like that from all kinds of situations and trips that we've been on, not just me personally, but humans in general. And I don't know if the memories would be as strong. Maybe the memories are weaker because more memories keep being piled on these objects as the years go by, or maybe that strengthens those memories. I don't know. It's an interesting philosophical question, but from a practical standpoint, I have cute stuffed animals and a cute doll, a glamorous doll. And they get to celebrate Christmas with me, and I get to celebrate Christmas with them every year. Thank you for your attention. If you like what you saw, please like, comment, share, subscribe, or don't. I am not the boss of you, and I hope you have a good day or night and a great Christmas or whatever you celebrate.